Philosophy is the main factor in determining how your life turns out. To develop your philosophy, you need to think and use your mind to process ideas. This process starts in childhood and continues throughout your life, influenced by your parents, schools, and experiences. All these factors shape your philosophy. I believe that your personal philosophy greatly affects your life outcome. I compare it to setting a sail on a boat. Your personal philosophy is like the set of the sail, guiding your life's direction. I used to think that my circumstances controlled my life. If someone had asked me when I was 25, "Mr. Rohn, why aren't you doing well? You have little money, creditors are calling, your bank account is empty, and you're not keeping promises to your family. You live in America, you're 25, have a wonderful family, and every reason to succeed. What's wrong?" I wouldn't have thought to blame my philosophy. It wouldn't have crossed my mind to say, "It's because of my bad philosophy that I'm broke and struggling." That idea wouldn't have occurred to me. I used to find it easy to blame the government or high taxes. When I started paying taxes, the top rate was 91%. Once your income hit a certain level, everything over that was taxed at 91%. So, I used to say, "That's too high." Now, the top tax rate is about 33%, but people still complain that taxes are too high. If the rate has dropped from 91% to 33%, how can it still be too high? It's not a valid excuse anymore. I stopped using those old excuses. Some people found my old list of excuses and are still using them. I also used to blame traffic, the weather, and other circumstances. People often say things like, "I'm too tall, too short, too old, raised in a small town, grew up on a farm, my parents didn't have much money." If you had asked me when I was 25, "Mr. Rohn, why are you struggling in America, a land of plenty and opportunity? Why do you have no money, an empty bank account, and creditors calling?" I wouldn't have thought to blame my philosophy. I found it easier to blame the company or its policies. I used to say, if this is all they pay, how do they expect anyone to do well? I thought my future depended on things like the economy and interest rates. I would say, everything costs too much. That was my whole explanation, not my philosophy, until my teacher showed me that the real problem was my own personal philosophy. Here's what's exciting about each person's philosophy: it makes us different from animals like dogs, birds, cats, and alligators. Unlike them, we can think, use our minds, and process ideas instead of just acting on instinct. For example, in winter, a goose can only fly south. If south isn't good, too bad, it has no choice. But humans aren't like geese. We can choose to go north, east, west, or any direction we want. We can shape our lives by how we think, use our minds, and process ideas. This helps us develop a better philosophy and strategy for our life goals and plans to achieve them. Our philosophy helps us make the best use of what we have. When we're born, we have seeds, soil, rain, and sunshine, basically, everything we need for life. The real question is, what do we do with all these things? How do we turn them into opportunities, dreams, and a better future? It's all possible for us humans. And it all starts with our philosophy. Think of it like this: the seeds are our ideas, the soil is our environment, the sunshine is positivity, and the rain is challenges. Is it possible to take all these things and turn them into something valuable, like food for thought or nourishment for our growth? That's the power of philosophy. It helps us turn life's ingredients into meaningful outcomes. Is it possible to turn all these ingredients of life into something amazing and unique, something that no other creature can do? The answer is yes. But you can't make the most of everything life offers unless you start refining your philosophy. You need to think, use your mind, and come up with ideas to strengthen your philosophy. Think of it like this: the seeds, soil, rain, and sunshine represent everything around us, like the economy, banks, money, schools, and all the information available. The challenge is figuring out what to do with all that and turning it into value and worth. That, in my opinion, is the biggest challenge in life. So, each person's personal philosophy determines what they'll do with the seeds, soil, sunshine, rain, and the changing seasons, the miracles of life. That's just my opinion. Your personal philosophy is like setting the sail of a boat. That's what this seminar is about today, helping you adjust your sail for the better. You don't need a better economy or better seeds and soil. All you have is what you've got, the seeds, soil, rain, sunshine, and the seasons of life. Now, what if you blame these things? Then you're blaming everything you have. If you blame the economy, schools, teachers, sermons, preachers, the marketplace, company policies, what else is there to blame? When some people finish their list of blames, they feel like there's nothing else left. That's all they see. But if you blame the only things you have to work with, it's a huge mistake. You have to understand that those are all you've got. And if that's all you have, you can't change the seeds, soil, rain, sunshine, or seasons, right? You have to take them as they are. So, what can you change to make your life better? You have to start with your philosophy. That's where the real change begins. You know what I had to do when I was 25 to change my future? I had to change my mind. I had to change the way I thought and my overall philosophy. I was blaming all sorts of things for my problems: the government, taxes, the economy, expensive stuff, negative people around me. But once I stopped blaming them and realized the real problem was me, everything changed. My bank account grew, my income increased, and my life suddenly looked completely different. The good results I got from making these philosophical changes early on tasted so good that I've never stopped since. And let me tell you, just by adjusting your sail a bit, by refining your philosophy, your whole life can start changing today. You don't have to wait for tomorrow or next month or spring, you can start right now. I highly recommend it. Some people don't think much at all, they don't even have their sail up. Can you imagine where they'll end up by the end of the week, month, or year? Now's the chance to change that. Start processing all this information. So, number 1 is philosophy.